2 years. That would be so cool. The only way anyone's going to be able to afford that model, I mean, 1,250 quid.
Yeah, but it's a Games Workshop, you know what they will do. They will
People
put in
will
build a
pay
figure.
it.
They will
People
build,
have
if they
been
did a build a
paying.
fig thing, it would put a piece in every new release. So you had to get every single new release to build that fucking awesome limited figure.
Yeah, they'll probably do that actually.
No, that's going
I mean, Hasbro do that with Marvel Legends anyway. You get the Black Build figures. Can't remember the last one.
Oh, yeah. There's a friendship.
With like the Marvel, the Marvel Legends figures, but half of the releases are just like. Why would I buy that thing?
It's a
Really?
phone-shaped space. It's perfect. I like this
Yeah,
table.
see what I mean?
It's built for me.
But you won't let me near it.
What's that?
A little dice space, a little phone space.
The shit on Conan's arse has been building up while I've been away,
Yeah.
and he's been rubbing his arse on the rug, on the carpet, to try and clean his own arse.
Yeah.
And he's giving himself friction burns, and he won't let me near it to clean it. Every time I try and clean him, he just runs off. And I do my head in, if he's not better in the next couple, or if he won't get me near it in the next couple of days,
Yeah.
I'm going to take him to a vet.
That's like my mum's cat. She still have to put
Picture
ice.
to it.
Yeah, we still have to put eye drops in him occasionally, but he actually runs away from my mum now and won't let him got anywhere near her.
See what I mean?
It's hilarious.
They remember, you know.
Okay. Oh, Mark's going for a fact. Okay.
Maybe it's when he's catching love yours. First like impression where you are dim but you're not stupid.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, well, this is it. You're allowed to be, slightly daft.
You're all right, buddy.
But there's a point at which it's like, I'm not
See, he's
that.
absolutely fine.
No,
otherwise,
George isn't bright.
Yeah, he's okay in himself. It's just
Yeah.
he's got a sore ass.
Oh.
Okay, well,
I'm assuming that's what it's from. He's not getting buggered by Biscuit.
no, absolutely. Oh, no, good. Yeah.
Vaping buddy.
You haven't got
I did not hear about
drip
this
drip
finishing
tips yet.
Custom drip tees.
Custom drip tips.
I
There's
found
many
that
I've
one you
painted in
sent
like
me,
20
the one
years.
that's like a pipe. I want that.
Isn't it that?
I left my minis at home, so I forgot to bring them.
I just thought it's the curious thing ever. It's ridiculous.
At some point I will do another Reaper. I'm going to do a Reaper order at some point.
But the reason I've got the drip tip
I've
is
got these
because
from
if you walk
Reaper.
around,
This is that
like,
the
is that-
bones. And
no,
I
no,
don't
I
like
can't. I'd
painting
like
bones.
walk
I like
down
metal.
rather than take the bus.
Bones are
If it's cold.
Bones, best
So
thing
the
about
tip
Bones is
Comes at the same
Christ.
because it's metal.
they're
Yeah.
And then it's
ridiculously
covered on your
cheap.
mouth.
Okay.
I don't like that.
I never thought of
The
that.
new
So I can
You do that in the
Plastic.
winter, vaping, lips stuck to you.
Changing the polymer so slightly.
Yeah, you have to get
New
a plastic
Kickstarter's
custom
coming
drip
up.
tip.
And what I like about it
Did
as
you see
well,
the-
Bug you to death.
I mean, it's,
Did you see
it's
the
definitely
link,
worth helping me
left on
cut
the-
down on smoking. I'm
on
smoking a
Facebook?
lot less.
There's a.
But what
I
I do
don't know
like
if
about it
it's
is
the
people
choice
do it
of
in
things
the
are going to be putting in for Kickstarter.
Well, I've
So
had
I
a
don't
great niece
know if it's
going
going
last
into
night, and
Kickstarter.
I started rolling a cigarette, and they're like, where are you
Like
going?
team-
And I give her a
Yeah,
smoke.
and it's just like, yeah. Thing is,
I mean, no,
certain
you
stuff
do that
it's
in here. I was like, oh,
really,
okay.
I find them hard to
I'm saying
think
no one likes
scale
because
apparently when you
all
get
right,
bigger,
all
the bigger miniatures.
Night blowouts and
Totally, it makes sense because they
vapour that
don't
has a
use them
smell.
really
But
sharp.
it's water vapour. It's not
details
doing
really
anything
sharp and
anymore.
I'm on pineapple for my
That
smell.
size
Ew,
is
you're
really,
pineapple.
really solid
That's
and it
nice.
just makes sense.
I've got blueberry.
When you
but
get
it's
something
a
about that big,
synthetic
you
taste.
don't
so
want
I
to
like
pay
it.
right
But the vanilla's not.
it's just so
Strawberry's a bit like that.
Yeah, you're not going to be
Strawberry's
able
a bit
to. You're not going to be able to live.
Yeah, the strawberry I thought I'd prefer to the pineapple. But the
But
strawberry,
no, that's really good.
the pineapple's really nice. The strawberry is a bit too synthetic. It's
Yeah.
a bit like kids' chewy sweets. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what the blueberry's like, and it was like, I can sort of vape it a couple of times, and then I have to change tanks over because it's like just too sticky
I've
sweet.
got one
Think
that's
back.
supposed to be a tobacco one. I wasn't
And they're actually
sure.
horrible.
I thought it might be. I thought, fuck it, I'll give it a go. I haven't tried it yet.
Interesting flavours like hamburger or
They do pretty much.
steak.
You can make near enough
If they
anything.
don't do bacon, then
There is
somebody's
bacon.
missing a trick, really.
There's
They will do.
there's loads of places where you can make up your own flavours and stuff as well.
I know the bacon flavoured baby formula and that was just
That's just crazy.
I was watching, yesterday I watched Muppets Most Wanted, the new Muppets movie. Have you seen it?
I love
There's so,
Muppets.
all these, when like they're talking about killing Miss Piggy, there's all these like jokes about making bacon. So I was just like, that's really wrong.
I just realised I think I left my character sheet behind.
Okay.
I didn't even know. I
Might
didn't
want to go and get that.
Just
You
think
might
about
find it
it.
useful, Aaron.
Yeah.
that's
We love
Esper
you.
in the flesh.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
usually
pause
it's like
it,
the
yeah.
only time I have
First mini I've painted in like 20 years.
That's a nice menu.
Let me see. Gonna pass.
Alrighty, so I was saying to Tobias, today is totally fly-by-wire. I have absolutely nothing written down for today.
Hey.
Because after the incident on the Gaia, everything points at Mark.
Dog in the,
Well,
dog in the, yeah.
the case was well worth it.
You need to. I told you that it's missing a layer. You need to
Yeah.
put something in.
No, you just babbled something to me about form and I didn't really pay attention.
It's supposed to have 3 layers, but when I got it, because I got it second hand off eBay, it only came with 2 layers. So
Towel would do.
you need to pad out
Put where
the
your-
extra layer.
Then you would know where your towel
And they
is.
won't move
as
around.
well.
Yes, you will always know your towel. Yeah, I've got nothing written down because everything went to pot. So I've got a general idea of what we're going to do today,
Okay.
and then I'm going to let you guys wander and we'll see where it
Spirit
ends up. And
We have to
then
use our imagination. Come on.
no, I'll use my imagination.
Imagination.
But you guys are going to guide me by
Oh, this isn't gonna end.
your decisions and your actions, and then for next time, then I'll know which way the campaign is going.
We're shaping the adventure.
You are shaping the adventure here
Hey.
because
So back to hell then.
Bye.
A few 3 hours of just staring at the fire and
Didn't
just
we
nothing.
already try us shaping the adventure and that got us kicked out of a city and made dead? And
Yeah.
no,
No,
that
no,
was
that was a written adventure that you just
that you ruined.
utterly failed to do properly.
No, you didn't even ruin it. You just took it in a direction that nobody was expecting. It went a bit
That's it.
dark.
Utterly failed to do properly.
So, where were we? Twirgler, Kaz, Tolerance, and Varys were on the mountain.
Yes.
You've been on the mountain
Fair enough.
for a very long time, over a month now, climbing down steadily with the limited ropes and pittons that you've been using to belay yourselves. No provisions really, apart from what Tolerance can conjure, and even though
we've got to be sick of that.
you are absolutely sick of it, and it's not keeping you in the best of health. You know, it's food and drink, but it's not really great, and you're all feeling really, really rough. You're all sort of a bit malnourished, extremely tired,
Sick of the sight of each other.
and sick of the sight of each other a bit, because you have been together for about 6 months now, since you set out from Neverwinter.
Might be even anyway.
40 days pass. You eventually, with some incidents, but quite minor, you managed to get to the foothills. As you've been climbing down the mountain, you did see, off in the distance, about another week's travel. No, not let's say 2 days travel. You can see a river, and on the river there appears to be a fishing town. Not a very big town, more like a large village with like a few jetties for boats and stuff. You see that there has, as you've been climbing down, you see there is obviously some river trade. Boats are going up and down the river, some quite large merchant vessels. As you've been climbing down the mountain, you also have occasionally seen in the distance a figure, quite a short figure, accompanied by some sort of animal that looks like a large dog or a wolf. And you've seen him off in the distance a few times, but you can't really make out much about him. So there you are, you're at the foot of the hill, of the mountains. What would you like to do? Would you like to, okay. Like I said, I haven't got anything prepared. I didn't set up the projector or anything. Give you a rough idea of, actually, everybody except Mark, do a survival check.
Sick. I rolled a natural 1.
Who did? You did. Good start.
These mushrooms are delicious.
It's alright, it's alright. It's not what you're thinking.
16.
16.
I got 11.
You got 11. 6. Kaz, with your knowledge your sort of geographical knowledge that you've learned over your time on the ship, you know, studying maps and stuff and general shippy stuff. You've got shippy stuff. Okay, sorry, maritime nautical things. Better?
That still sounds
Shippy stuff.
I know what you mean.
You've got a rough idea of where you are. You're quite a way northeast from Neverwinter. You think you're on the spine of the world, which is a very large mountain range that runs east to west across the top of Faerun. You reckon you're on the side which will lead you towards Icewind Dale.
Yeah.
So there you are. What do you want to do?
I'm going to tell the rest of the party where I think we are. So you have an idea. So you all have an idea of the location.
Did you say Icewind Dale?
Icewind Dale.
Do I know of any churches of my faith in that?
You know that there's probably, in this town, you haven't reached the
Dale.
town yet. Oh, in Icewind Dale? Quite likely. Icewind Dale's quite a large place. You think there's probably going to be some presence there, yeah. So we'll say that you are camped at the bottom of the mountain. It's morning. You're all up. You've all had your lovely breakfast that you're not at all sick of, with conjured food from Tolerance.
We really have to find a way to trade for some actual food.
It's a couple of days' journey to the nearest town that you saw on the riverbank.
Have we got any skills or, you know, should we just sell Twirbler?
I'm not selling Twirbler. Minor illusion, snowball to Varys' face.
You don't need to, if you want a snowball to fuck out Varys' face, you don't need to use a minor
There's plenty
illusion.
of bloody snow.
There's plenty of snow.
Yes.
Okay, you're all a little slightly frostbitten as well.
Fuck it. Make a snowball.
Mm-hmm.
Minor illusion, make it look like an apple.
You all see Twergler eating an apple and you're like, oh, apple? Where did you get an apple?
Apple?
See? Sell Twirbler.
So what do you want to do?
Is there anything other than snow around here?
There's trees, there's like woodland, there's heather, sort of very dense bracken, wildlife.
Does anyone know how to hunt?
Not I.
Have anything to hunt with?
Not I. In this particular context, and that's not use.
Does no one else think we're being followed? I haven't noticed. The guy with the doggy. Who is he? Or she?
But very fair.
Does he have any food? Oh my
I don't
god.
know.
No offence to your conjuring skills, and I'm grateful to your blah 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 blah. Slightly better.
Hebla.
Something other than this
Shit.
would be nice. So let's go ask him.
You haven't seen the short figure for a couple of days. You saw him a couple of times on the descent, but it's been a few days since you last saw him. And he was always sort of elsewhere on the mountain and moving nimbly.
Right. I wonder where that guy has been.
I'm not sure we can.
Any
The
contact
fisher
with
folk.
humans who aren't you would be nice.
Yeah, the fisher folk presumably buy and sell. There are merchant ships going up and down that river.
We have nothing to trade with.
We've got to have something of some worth amongst us. Even if it's simply entertainment.
Baz and the other group.
Although to be fair, mostly I can just set fire to the place. So that's really not good.
Are you going to do anything? It's going to be a very short campaign if you guys are just going to sit.
Just sit there every 3 hours and just sat here doing
They're
sat
going to
here.
sit on the ground and freeze to death.
Right.
Shall we have all new characters then? So we're by a river.
No. There is a river,
It's
2 days journey,
that way.
roughly northwards, with a town on the riverbank.
Which is where I'm saying we should go.
They're going to have fire
Yeah.
and worms. Let's just have to go.
To town.
I think you're right.
Can
Fire
we
and
please
water
go
and
to the
woodland.
town?
I know I said I was leaving it freeform today, guys, but I've given you one fucking thing to aim towards here.
I know, they had one job and it's like, nobody wants to go to the town. Thank
So you're going to head off towards the town?
Yeah.
So you're just wandering towards the town. First day is very, very uneventful. You do see, towards evening time, as you're wandering along, you see in the distance, like on a hillside, the same figure, short figure. Can't really make out much detail from the distance, but sat beside him is some form of large canine.
Doggy! Doggy. Okay.
Wave at them. See if they notice.
Right, perception check, please.
56.
20.
So you've been keeping an eye on this band of stragglers, wondering what the hell they're doing, being quite amused, and also a little sympathetic to their situation. And you've seen them, they're now obviously heading towards the town of Fishgut. And you see them waving. Or you see
Say what you see.
the tiefling waving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's getting on towards night. You're thinking it's probably best to camp.
Conjure food.
Conjure food. Okay. Can I have a pencil?
Hey.
There should be a stack of them there somewhere. There we go.
I'm going to use my cantrip to make the food taste like other things than what it is.
Such as.
Potato cakes.
Okay, can I have an Arcana check from you?
$22.
Oh yeah, lovely potato cakes. Still, it tastes like, you know how we were discussing earlier, how the strawberry doesn't really taste like strawberry, it tastes like kids' sweeties, it tastes like artificial potato cakes.
Those are fun.
Yeah, make it taste like
So you
strawberry.
settle down for the night, presumably?
Potato cakes made out of Pringles.
Praise.
That's what an artificial
Praise.
potato cake would taste like.
Okay. Fast forward.
Not bad then.
Somebody pass that to Mark, please. Fast forward. You journey the second day as well. The night passes uneventfully. You journey the second day, and you arrive on the outskirts of this town. It is grey and dingy. It's a town that looks like it's seen better days. It might have been once quite prosperous, but it looks quite run down. All the houses are a bit boarded up and a bit ramshackle. Imagine a western town with the the walkways are like raised boarding, like the covers over the top. The streets are just mud. The whole place reeks of fish. You can guess what the main source of income is in this town. You wander into town, there's like surly looks from people everybody looks a little thin under the weather. Everybody's clothes are very, very ragged. They don't seem particularly hostile towards you, but they don't seem particularly welcoming. Perception checks all round, apart from Mark.
Right.
Anybody get better than a 10?
11. 9.
11?
6.
6, Varys.
8.
Tolerance. Luckily, you see a swinging sign outside of a larger building that looks like it's probably going to be a tavern. It probably used to be a mug shape, like a tankard shape, but it's just rotting wood now.
Okay. There appears to be a tavern over there. I think if we're going to find employment to get ourselves some money to actually trade for some food, that might be the best place for us to start.
Yeah. It's a good idea to
I'll be looking for a bed.
Yeah, but people
And
tell
you
me
would
to
hire
sleep bed.
renter's bed with.
You're a cleric. Sorry, Matt Sherman.
I'm going to walk into the
He
town.
works with members
Okay.
of the church.
Anybody going with him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you walk into the tavern. It is again Western style, saloon doors. The piano doesn't stop. There are people who glance over at you, but it's more like, it seems like you see it's quite a crowded bar. It seems quite warm and welcoming. There's a big fireplace with lots of fish cooking on it. It seems quite busy. You notice there were boats moored at the docks as you came into town, and it looks like there are people from out of town who are here. They've been trading or whatever. There's also locals. Perception checks all round again.
Yay! 21, 20,
16.
24 run.
Natural 1.
All modified. So yeah.
Am I bar? Sorry?
11.
11. Okay, the three of you, one character in particular, character is probably the wrong word to use, but never. One person in particular catches your eye because he looks a little out of place. Sat quite close to the fire, nursing a beer, is a dwarf who is watching as you enter. Beneath the table, there is a large wolf laying on the floor, quite comfortably sleeping by the fire.
I'm going to walk over to the fire and start absorbing some warmth. and
You
dry.
feel much better immediately. You're like,
Yes.
oh my god, warmth!
Close to the fire as possible.
But warm,
Don't mind
warm
slight
and
singes.
Yeah, I'm going to go over by the fire.
Okay, the barman is sort of eyeing you all.
Yeah, you can wait for 2 minutes.
I'll ask the dwarf, does your dog bite?
I don't mind Errol, he's harmless enough.
Errol! Right, I'll make friendly with Errol.
You're gonna make friendly with Errol? Okay. You happy with him to make friendly with Errol?
Errol does what Errol wants.
Okay.
Invasion.
Yeah, make him happy with the dog, makes me happy. Warm. Yeah, I'm cool.
The barman looks at one of the locals propped at the bar and sort of says quite loudly, "You know, I've heard these places are called free houses in some towns." It's a silly name.
Funny you should say that. I'm more than happy to earn my keep and a bed and beer and food for me and my friends. I'm an accomplished tumbler and juggler. I can entertain people. Just don't ask me to sing.
Several,
Yeah,
of the
join
locals,
after mission.
several of the locals at the bar sort of look at you and sort of, and the barman just looks at you and says, "Do we look like we need entertaining?"
You look like you need cheering up. God, we've spent
Exactly.
What? No, we have. We've spent weeks in that mountain with nothing for company but ourselves and God, snow. This is the first real warms we've had, the first meaningful contact I've had with anything with 4 legs in quite some time, and he's friendly, so why not brighten the place up a bit? It's been misery after misery after misery. Fuck this! No. No. So
A
yes.
few raised eyebrows around the bar at this little tirade.
Paris actually looked like.
Are you not entertained?
And he's probably just sort of sat on the floor with his head in his hands.
So yes, at least I'm prepared to do something for all of us. Not just bemoan my fate, but this is what life's handed to us so far. Let's make something of it. What do you say, Barkeep? I promise I won't be annoying. Yeah. You can pay me to not be annoying.
If you achieve that, then, Mr. Barman, you'll be doing us all a favour.
This is a pub. You buy drinks.
Yeah. With money, which I'm prepared to earn. I could clean the place up, do your dishes, clean your floors. I could have this place sparkling by tomorrow morning. It'd be a nice place to be without the smell of fish, by the way.
I think what my
Certainly.
friend here is trying to say is there any employment available in this village that you know of?
What can you do?
I'm a cleric. I'm quite accomplished at healing people and fairly knowledgeable, but I'm prepared to do any task which is required. I have a fairly strong back for my size.
Can you fish?
I probably can for 10 minutes.
Girl like you might do well at the whorehouse.
I'm not sure how my God would feel about that.
God's feelings they're worried about.
There's a whorehouse.
Yes, there's a whorehouse.
Oh God.
Well, you did say imagine a Western style town.
Yeah.
That's all there is. Houses, a bar and a brothel.
Yeah.
What more
What
do you
more do you
need?
need?
The barman looks at you and says, "There's no work in this bar. I suggest if you want work, you go and look elsewhere, and then come back when you've got some money for beer."
Where would you suggest that we looked?
You see that door,
Outside of it.
the other side.
Let's try the docks.
Okay.
Minor illusion. Making a sign around my neck won't annoy you. 1 gold piece.
Try that.
The barman casually reaches under the bar and pulls out a large club sort of instrument, just places it on the bar and then continues polishing the filthy glass.
You've
Can't say I didn't try.
Come along, Twergler. I don't think we're welcome here.
Twergler,
Alright.
you're not healthy.
Like fun, I'm not. When's the last time that club saw any use?
Oh God, don't.
Well, that's an honest
Actually,
question.
Fuck it, do tempt him, at least he'll shut him.
The barman just looks at you and says, "I'm inviting you to leave, little man."
And I'm just asking a civil question.
A few of the locals sort of push back their stools a little and put their mugs down quite pointedly, looking at you.
Oh God.
Not
What?
this again.
Nobody's going to say anything about the club that is quite clearly made evident on the bar over there. Oh, very well.
One of the locals looks at you and says, "He doesn't usually need to get the club out."
So nothing
Left or
happens in
right?
this town. Nothing.
Leaving.
No, Twergler's arm, left or right.
All right. Yes.
Fishing
I'll take
happens.
The
Okay,
Clarence
tell
will
me
take
about the
Twergler's
fishing.
right arm. Varys will take Twergler's left arm, and we are going to drag Twergler out of the building.
I'm asking about fishing.
I don't care what you're
That's
doing.
what they do here. I'm engaging in
Shut
civil
up.
conversation.
So Kaz and Mark's dwarf, whose name I do know, but I'm not saying it because he hasn't been introduced yet.
Indeed.
You see
Well, except asking for the
Tolerance. You see Tolerance and Varys physically lift this gnome, who's still talking at people, as they just carry him out of the room, out of the bar.
And I'll just raise my glass to my mouth and watch.
Seems totally reasonable to me.
You three exit, and Toga's like, "Yeah, talk about fishing. Talk about
I'm
fishing."
being repressed.
Perception checks from you three.
13.
6. I don't have any.
No, not you three. Tolerance. Not Tolerance. Twergler.
Ooh.
The three that are outside.
Lots.
Many.
Okay. You, astonishingly, happen to notice as you're being called out, these two are sort of looking at each other, you know, but you're looking out across the street and you see a very shifty looking character watching you three, and as you come out, he sort of makes off down the road and disappears down the side alley.
Ooh, keep a mental note of that. I'm going to follow that up later. Alright, I'll be quiet. Eesh.
Thank.
So you all gone outside now?
Those three are outside.
Yeah.
You're in the bar, sort of just warming yourself by the fire. The locals just sort of go back to their drinks. The barman glances over at you and doesn't seem that bothered about you because you weren't being annoying.
Fine, I'll go and find a job elsewhere then. And I'll
I'm just going to sit by the fire and I'm happy.
saunter off.
Happy where you are?
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
Actually, how big is the fire?
Fireplace size?
Okay.
Quite like a tavern fireplace size. It's quite a decent fire.
Where the guy came from is where I want to casually saunter to. Going to the one end of the street, crossing the street, and then coming back that way.
Okay.
Keeping my eyes open for that person. Was he fairly distinctive or just...
He looked like one of the locals, but you got a good look at him, so you probably recognise him again. He was human. It's mainly humans in town. There's a few demi-humans around, but it's mainly humans. You guys following Twergler, or are you staying outside the bar, or...?
I'm going to go outside and join the rest of them
Okay.
as well.
Do I see any buildings that resemble like a chapel or like a small movie? I didn't think there would be. Head towards the top then, I guess.
Okay.
At least Kaz knows what to do if we're on board ship. We take land for some time.
As Twirgler is heading off towards in the direction of the docks anyway,
Wrong word to use.
so you follow Twirgler, and as you draw level,
Member of the crew.
you're on the opposite side of the street from the alleyway this shifty character disappeared down. Can I get another coffee?
From Varys' point of view, there's only deckhands like in charge because he knows fuck all about ships.
As you draw level with the alleyway that this shifty character disappeared down, Twirgler, you guys aren't looking at it because you're just sort of like, you have no idea about it and you're just sort of wandering around looking around town. Twirgler, as you draw level with the alleyway, you see the same shifty character talking to a group of about 5 people, and they all look in your direction and start moving towards you.
Nice. That's just going down. Are they threatening you anymore?
They look like their intent is probably not to give you a handshake.
Yeah.
They start moving out into the street. They're all wearing quite heavy cloaks against the rain. It is raining. It's very grey and wet and drizzly. And as they move out into the street, they all start pulling clubs, and the street starts to clear.
That's
What else is around me, behind me? Is there an alleyway?
Nope, you're stood on. There's what appears to be some sort of barber shop behind you, and a barber very hurriedly turning the sign to closed and locking the door. And we'll roll for initiative. It's Twirgler.
21.
Ooh, right. Kaz.
5.
Unknown dwarf.
it's not with no name.
You might be involved, who knows?
Well,
A dwarf with no name.
You're
Nice.
not drawn.
That's kind of what I was coming to.
Kinda, yeah. It's a bit rough.
Right.
So initiative from a dwarf with no name.
12.
I will actually write dwarf. Tolerance.
3.
And Varys.
9.
Varys on a 9. That brings us to Twirgler. You, on 21, get to go first.
Okay. Is there an obvious looking leader, or are they just...
You think it was probably the shifty guy.
Okay.
He's kind of behind them a bit. They're all quite big guys. He's a bit scrawny and weaselly, and he's sort of like...
Right. Minor illusion. Spider. Just want a big spider crawling up his chest.
Okay. That's a wisdom save, isn't it?
I believe so.
He sort of looks down and goes,
Biscuit him.
Nice intelligence.
Biscuit.
his intelligence. Either way, that was a good roll for him. So he just brushes the spider away and,
It disappears.
yeah.
And gives no fucks.
No
You
fucks.
found him! Yeah, and I'll leave it there.
Okay, that brings us to Unknown Dwarf, who sat in the bar with Errol. Thank you very much indeed.
I don't know. Oh, hello, biscuit. Happy cat.
Obviously, I've
He's a biscuit.
guarded them and saved you so far.
Biscuits.
If, probably if they'd behaved a bit better in the bar when calm with people, I would have left them be. But yeah, I'll take a wander outside. And
Okay, you see that this group of stragglers are moving down the street, and you see some of the local thugs, because it's a fishing town. It's quite a rough town. There's a lot of local types whose only entertainment is having a fight.
yeah,
And these guys look like they're probably going to start something with this group.
can I get up to sort of
They're about 45 feet away from you.
25 movements? So no. I'll make my way towards them.
Okay.
Um,
So they don't seem to have noticed you.
cool.
They're intent on the party. So any other action apart from your movement? They've all got clubs in their hands apart from the little scrawny guy behind them who's not doesn't appear to have anything in his hands. They look threatening.
No, I'll just move towards them.
Okay,
Casual
Varys.
pace. Mosey.
Mosey. Nice. Are you staying on the walkway, on the boardwalk, or are you going into the street? These guys should we have a bit of a clear off. Let's have a bit of a map here.
I'm trying to visualise where I
Need
am
to get
with
some
pens then, and I was confused.
Pens.
Pens.
No post-its for
Can I have
that.
some post-it notes, please?
No,
No, I haven't got enough.
no post-its. The
Behind
pens.
my screen. There's nothing to see behind the screen.
Ah, thank you.
This week there is nothing behind the screen apart from tea and cigarettes.
And you.
And me going, oh, what am I going to do?
Did you get these pens off eBay?
Yeah.
Alright, I have to remember to get them. Should check. Should have realised that. Just ordered a lot of stuff off eBay as well. Managed to get the
Oh, that's the point. I still got
little
it.
sketchbook, those hardback sketchbooks I use.
Oh yeah.
I got like one of them for like £3.
Oh, nice.
I was like, £3-4. I was like, what the hell? So I was looking for it, expecting like, it to like cost like £8.
Yeah.
Fucking £3. I'm
You
like,
can't be phone.
the only annoying thing is that they didn't have the option to buy more than one. I would have bought two.
Yeah.
2 or 3 at the same time.
It would have
Definitely.
been worth it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You don't really need one of these.
This is where I
Yeah.
lament the fact I don't have my spell book.
They just what have they paid? It's a cheap Oscars basically, aren't they?
Okay, so
Hang on.
Remind me to grab the whiteboard when we can step out the garage.
So this is the walkway. You guys are about here. These guys are moving out to the street here. That's the tavern you've come from. There's a barber shop behind you here. There's like a general store over here. Funeral parlour over here. And various housing and stuff.
Ugh.
Twergler is the party marker. Hesper is them.
Okay.
So, yes, and
Yeah. In which case, I'll just do a direct walk into the street. Just up towards the mob.
where the dwarf have no name. Oh, did you see that video I put up with Edge from U2 falling
Falling
off the
off
stage?
the
Could have happened to a nice person. Right,
Every time you see something like that, you still fucking get funny.
Varys.
I don't know how much I can do these days.
So without your spellbook, are you
Cantrips only.
cantrips only? Fuck. Excellent.
Yeah, I've got to go to Neverwinter, basically, because that's where my copy of my spellbook is.
Okie dokie.
Just buy a new one.
How many are there?
Hmm?
Just buy a new one.
There are 6 in
Do you
total.
know how much it
Five,
costs to transcribe a spell?
5 thugs and the kind
Right then,
of
shut up.
ringleader kind of guy.
About 6.
I don't need to.
6 in total. 5 thugs, 1 big dude.
Yeah, I'm a wizard.
I'm going to say one thing. This is obviously player knowledge rather than party knowledge. However, given the events on the Gaia, and that's not intended to make you feel bad about what happened on the Gaia, given the events on the Gaia, I'm just going to say one thing. Don't assume lethal force. All I'm saying.
I am assuming lethal force.
Yeah, Kaz probably would, to be
It's
fair.
just like, yeah, it's like, well, fuck
I
you.
think Varys is just going to stand and go, so what is it that you want?
You're actually saying that to them.
Yeah.
Okay. The ringleader sort of like pops his head up between 2 of the thugs and goes, "You wanted
For what exactly?
necromancy. You know what? Get 'em, boys!"
Yeah, we don't do necromancy. Other people do.
And on to Kaz. Any other action apart from speaking? No? Kaz?
So have they actually gone for a shit?
They're moving towards you, sort of like tapping clubs in their hands.
Just a second. So not actually use this for this.
Don't start a fight if we don't have to.
I didn't start a fight. I
Wow,
asked
that's-
what they
that's-
wanted.
5 foot.
That's very different from Gar.
So how far are we away from us?
About 20 feet.
Right.
And that's just mud in the street.
Mm-hmm.
About how far up my ankles is this mud?
Yeah, ankle.
Ankles.
Yeah, ankles.
It's really grim here. This is not a pleasant town. I mean, it's
I didn't expect that.
it's not. When I say it's not a pleasant town, it's not the worst town in the world.
Yeah.
It's like it's a dingy fishing town.
So it's basically Redall, then.
Where?
Redall by sea.
I don't know that.
It is. Sounds like, isn't it, Redall by sea?
Is that a dingy fishing town?
No, Redall's just like just a horrible place.
Okay, so it's Redall. It's not Whitby. Whitby, lovely little seaside town. Redall.
Yeah, Redall. It's just a little estate in Darlos, not quite nice.
Red
Oh,
colour
okay.
without the class.
Nice.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna use create bonfire and drop the bonfire right in front of them.
Okay.
It's about 5 foot, 5 foot cube, so it's basically right in front of them.
So you're just dropping a bonfire,
Yeah, just a big huge bonfire.
and it's 5 foot square.
5 foot
roughly.
square, yeah.
So it's going to be quite a tall fire.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of gonna. That's it. I'm just gonna keep that going. It's a minute, so we have to.
Are you doing this subtly, or are you doing it in a sort of whoa?
You think I'm gonna be doing it slowly? It's like oh look, what?
What I'm
Shit,
saying
there's
is,
a bonfire!
what
I
am
didn't
I-
do that.
yeah, what I'm saying is, are you going to like make it obvious that you have done this?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay, they look a little bit surprised that you're a spellcaster and sort of a little less sure of themselves, but they're still moving towards you.
Are they going round the fire?
Yes, they're coming around the fire. Tolerance.
I'm going to use commands. I'll just check on how the higher levels work. Okay, I'm going to cast it as a level 3 and tell them all to flee.
Right, so how many people does that?
That will only work on 3.
Work on 3 of them, and they all get an intelligence or a wisdom save.
It is wisdom.
And what's your spell difficulty?
That's 14.
14. One flees directly back down the alleyway, so you now have 4 thugs and the ringleader.
Do you want pens that are all different colours or just the same, just white?
Just white would do.
Yeah.
Having the different colours is alright, but I think we can get by with those colours, so just what I think.
Yeah.
Anything else, Lawrence? That was your action? Your movement?
Just try not to harm anyone, please, guys.
Okay, that brings us on to them. And they close towards you, the 4 of them. The 5th guy, the ringleader, points at you and says, "Stay out of it, Hermit, this is town business." And Twirgler. A thug swings his club at you. What's your armor class? Doesn't matter what your armor class is. Just a moment. And then Kaz, 2 of them close on you because they've seen you display magic. Misses. What's your armor class, Kaz?
15.
No, misses. And then the 4th one closes on tolerance and hits. Bear in mind, actually, when you're telling me your armor class, nobody's wearing any armor.
Mine's natural.
Oh yeah, because you're a fucking dick.
And I didn't lose any of my stuff.
Yeah, not you.
Well, I'm still wearing my robe because you told me I was. So
So yeah,
I'm
I'm the
best
class
class.
of a naked character. It's like
clever.
10
Come on.
plus your dex. So 8.
This thug steps up to you, swings a club at you, and just twats you across the forehead for 6 points of damage.
Wow.
And that brings us back around to Twirgler.
Don't like that. The guy that just hit tolerance,
Yes.
minor illusion, ball of darkness over his head.
Wisdom or intelligence?
For minor illusion,
I think we said
Intelligence.
Intelligence. And your
investigation
spell
check.
difficulty?
Spell difficulty is
Busy on Wednesday.
my spell save is 15.
15.
I think so.
this guy is now and he drops his club and is sort of clawing at his face.
Brilliant.
Anything else?
Yeah. That's for the leader.
Probably more than me. And
You just
again,
sort of,
using
huh?
copy and paste where
Nice try. I like what you were going for there. That brings us around to the dwarf with no name. You've now seen that a fight has definitely kicked off.
Alright, so the ringleader who pointed at me,
Yes.
I'm gonna mosey towards him.
Okay. You're still moseying.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've got no need to rush into anything. And as I approach him, I'm just gonna be like, well laddie, it might be town business, but I'm making it mine. And I'll transform into a large brown bear and then roar in his face.
Nice. Okay. Give me an intimidation check. But I'll give you a +2 on that.
Oh. 6.
6.
Damn. I like being a brown bear.
Okay.
Being bear's very
He doesn't run away, but he doesn't look particularly happy that you just turned into a bear. Have you ever done this in town before? I know you've played with the kids in town, but have you actually sort of like done anything like this?
Don't be anything that terrifying.
Not
yes.
into a combat form.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, actually turning into a bear in front of the kids wouldn't be fun. They'd be like,
Yeah. Playing with the kids, it's usually like a cat or a dog.
the
or-
squirrels
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, make it cute.
What about Errol? Errol going to do anything? Errol's sort of like,
I don't know how companions work. I think you control, because I have to use an action to tell him what to do. So I think for the most part,
okay, so Errol's just growling at him as well, and yeah, this guy, you know, this guy's name is Skog. He's he's a real scumbag. He's like,
This guy.
he is fish guts, chaviest chav. He's a bit wee, bit wild, he's wicked. And he's clearly intimidated by you and Errol, but he's standing his ground. Well, just standing his ground. He's kind of backing up a bit, like, oh crap, I might have bitten off a bit too much here. Varys.
Right. That's probably not good for it.
Happiness is a warm cat.
I'm just going to cast
Can we get chest time?
Ray of Frost at Scumbag's feet, so it doesn't hit him,
Okay.
but it's like just in front of him, like a warning shot,
I-
and say back down at the same time.
I will allow that without a roll to hit. So intimidation, please. And again, I'll give you a +2 as you're displaying magic.
That'll be 19.
Skog turns and runs back down the alleyway, and he is pooping it. And perception check from you and you.
Nine.
yes.
Okay. That brings us on to Kaz. Two guys stood in front. Two big blokes are stood in front of you, wielding clubs at you.
Wait, was that a sight? Yeah, it would have been a sight check.
Yes.
Different animal forms have different. As a bear, I get advantage on smell checks.
It's very fishy round here.
You can discern the different types of fish.
Yes. That's a halibut.
There might be others who won't reflect.
How tough do these guys look?
Pretty tough. They're like born and bred fishermen who've been hauling nets over the sides of boats all their lives. They're
Yeah.
big, burly men. They're not armoured, and their clubs are basically just bits of wood. Yeah. They've got sticks, basically, but heavy sticks.
Talk to you after.
I don't have anything I can won't kill. I don't have anything that won't kill him straight off.
You can punch them. You know, it's a street fight. It's not. They're not.
That's good.
You didn't get. You don't. Give me a perception check.
Punch him, kick
There you
him, put him in a stew.
Yeah, it's
Fight
22.
Sorry.
20.
22. Yeah, you get the impression these guys aren't going to kill you.
Mm.
They're just trying to beat you up,
Yeah.
subdue you.
I'm gonna cast mirror image. I'm gonna cast mirror image on myself.
Oh, nice. So there's now what, 5 of you?
I have no idea. I can't remember how it works. Yeah, something like that.
I think it's.
Give me a second. No, it's not scrolled.
But there's a bunch of you, and basically I have
Yeah.
to roll to see which one I hit.
That's it. Yeah. I don't know if it's actually say. Oh, three years for me now.
There's 4 of you now.
I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Um,
It says it's free loosely duplicates.
I'm going to give you
Mm.
the opportunity to make an intimidation check as well,
Mm-hmm.
because these guys are just country fucking bumpkins, and like you guys are going spells, spells, and they're like, what the fuck? So intimidation check, please. I know you're not a particularly intimidating character.
5, so that's a 5. Wait, how many 5? That's a 12.
Not bad, but they're like, okay, this is a bit weird. They're very confused by the fact that you just split into 4, but they're still okay. Tolerance. You are noticing that your companions are clearly not.
What time is it, by the way?
It's early morning. It's about 11 in the morning.
Any like flames around?
Yeah, there's a big bonfire that you just kind of.
No, that'll gone now.
Okay, no.
Right.
You're noticing that your party, your companions aren't going in for the kill, and you've noticed that this dwarf's just turned into a bear right in front of your eyes, but it also doesn't appear to be actually going in for the kill.
Is there still one attacking me?
Yes.
Right, I'll cast Shield of Faith on myself to give me
Sure.
+2 AC, and I guess attempt to grapple him.
Okay. Roll to hit.
Remember how to do that?
Not been that long.
I forgot them very quickly. Oh, I've got 19, so
19.
yeah.
You have grappled this man. Give me a strength check.
13.
13. Okay. You've grappled each other. You don't have the upper hand. You latched onto him, so he immediately grabbed onto you. He's dropped his club to do so. You do get the impression that if this continues, he's going to get the upper hand because this guy's a big, strong bugger.
Okay.
What's Tolan's strength?
15.
Oh, I mean, actually, no. You've got a pretty. Because bear in mind, guys, 9 to 11, I think, is base human stats. Your stats are heroic stats, so you are really strong. This guy's all like, this girl's a bit tough. That brings us on to him, actually. So he is. Yeah, he just got a 1. So you've got this guy. You've totally got him. The 2 attacking Kaz, another 1. He drops his club because he's so astonished that he is fighting 4 of you now. The second guy gets a 5 and completely misses. And then there was 1 guy left fighting you.
He's got a ball of darkness on his head.
Oh yes, we'll give him a check. He has managed to see now and he's bent over in front of you to try and get his club off the floor. And that brings us back to you, actually.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Oh god.
Yeah, 2 of us not gone away very far, has he? He's going to whip the club out of reach.
Roll to hit at the advantage.
That's a 19.
See if you get the 20. Whew! Yeah, you just sort of like, and the club goes skittering across the floor, and yeah, this guy's really not, he's not running away, but he's like, yeah, I've really gotten into the wrong fight here.
Stop it. Think about your life choices. Make the right decision.
Dwarf with no name?
The ringleader
He's scarpered, he's gone. He's
gone.
off down the alleyway. You can see him running off down the alley.
Alright. I'll just go to the nearest one that's not physically in combat with someone else. And
Well, there's two stood in front of Kaz. One of them's sort of,
are they next to each other?
yeah, they're about
Yeah.
that
So
way.
I'm gonna pad up to them and rather than attack brown bear style, on the backs pin them to the floor and roar at them next to their heads as they're pinned to the floor.
D20.
19.
And a strength check.
20.
Yes, you have now pinned both of these men to the ground and have roared at them, and they're just like, sorry, I'm sorry.
I like this guy.
That brings us to Varys.
What have I got left in front of me?
There's nobody on you. There's the one that. Oh, actually, no, there is one on you.
I assume Errol's just next to me,
Well,
growling like, yeah, boss, get him, yeah.
Where's a pin? No, it's grappled. Yeah.
Fucking warned you.
No, there's nobody in front of you. There's two that have been pinned by the bear, one that is grappled by Tolerance, and one that is sort of in front of Twergler looking disarmed in every sense.
There's nobody that's got a club in their hand about to twat one of our lot.
No.
Has anyone actually been hit yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
When I said back down, I really did mean it.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Intimidation check.
$14.
Okay, the one in front of Twergler, he turns tail and scarpers, he's off down the alleyway. The one that you're wrestling is still wrestling with you. Doesn't look particularly bothered by what Varys just said, and it is Kaz's go.
These guys.
So these guys, the guys that were in front of you were like, and while they were distracted by the fact there's now four of you, this bear just came up behind them and went, boom, put them on the ground. So you're like,
So they're pinned.
They are completely pinned.
Not much no point do anything.
Okay, good, because I thought that was going to go south there for a moment.
Quite easy, we're just going to kick her teeth out.
Well, we did think about it.
Intimidate them and drag them back.
Let's be completely
Teeth on the
honest.
curb.
Looking at these guys, if you kick their teeth out, it wouldn't take very long.
Improve their looks.
Yeah. They might consider that dentistry. So Tolerance, you're wrestling this one guy.
Maintain the grapple and demand that he tells me who's looking for us.
Strength check.
7.
He wrestles his way out of your grasp, swings at you, hits you for 1 point of damage in the face, just punches you in the face. So you're like, tell us a boo! Which brings us to him. That was an opportunity attack. He swings at you again and misses this time. Brings it back to Twergler. Two guys pinned, one guy punching it out with Tolerance.
It's difficult to try to subdue with a whip, but I want to entangle his feet.
Roll to hit. I'm going to make you roll at disadvantage because he's in a very close melee.
Right, that's going to be 3, 8. That's going to be 11.
That's enough. He's AC 10 because he's just standard human. So, okay, strength.
11. 17.
Face down in the mud.
Brilliant.
The lady asked you a question.
No, she didn't. The lady got punched in the mouth. That's not what he's saying. Okay, let's continue initiative for now. Dwarf with no name.
So everyone's basically ran or is pinned underneath me.
Two guys pinned down beneath you, and one guy face down in the mud with a whip wrapped around his feet. The two guys beneath you look like if
They've given up.
given the chance, they will take to their heels.
Alright, I'll lift up off them, and as I do so, bonus action transform back into myself.
Nice,
And
very smooth. I like that.
uh,
While you've had them pinned, Errol was just in their faces like.
just gonna say, if I was you, I'd be on my way, lad.
They both just, like start virtually crawling away, just like as fast as they can, getting to their feet and running, and they're off down the street.
And that'll do for me.
Varys?
They're running away.
Yeah, except for the one that's on the floor in front of Tolerance, who was just sort of squirming in the mud trying to get this whip off his ankles.
Right. Okay, so who we wanted back?
That's directed at him, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Skog told us to get you.
Well, I guess we're going to go and see Scott then, aren't we? Get him up.
Are you getting him up?
Get him up.
Are you telling him to get him up? I mean,
Well, our lot have got him like pinned on the ground, haven't
Well, I entangled his feet, which he's probably now trying to untangle himself from.
Yep.
He's still stood over it.
they? Yeah.
It's not my turn.
well, we'll drop out of initiative.
Okay. Then I'll pick him up by his collar.
Okay.
Nice.
He's looking very
Even on
subdued. He's
wrap,
looking.
can wrap your whip, if I can say that phrase, because apparently that's hard, isn't it? Should
If
say.
we're out with initiative, I'll walk over to where this is going on, and as I get there, I'll just cast Cure Wounds on Tolerance
Okay.
for 9 hit points.
Which is more than she took. So
Nice.
you are back up to full.
Just a
I
minute.
assume I noticed that.
Oh,
Thank
absolutely. You noticed this.
If he's a bully, right, he likes fighting. And I'll bet he started fights in the bar, right? Didn't you? Punch your fucking knees out if you're not careful.
Only once.
Once. Right, so you're scaring patrons off. That means, right, let's go and see the barman. I want your face to be known to the barman because you scare away money for him, and that's money we could use to keep him in business. What?
I think we're getting
less than
off
four.
track,
Yeah.
We need to
It
You're
takes
complaining
a
for this.
minute, and we need friends in this town. We need a place to stay.
You might be right.
Yeah, we also kind of need to be not attacked every 2 minutes because
Can I
apparently
leave?
we're unwanted persons.
No.
I think after you're going to apologise to the thoroughly
By the
dispatching
way-
that group, we're probably
I've got money.
okay for a
You can
little
have
What's this
money.
thing with the bag?
Thank you.
How much?
And you are?
I'm Balder.
He starts reaching
I'm
into his
Varys.
cloak.
Hello.
Give me money, and we might figure this
I'm
out.
Balder, and I've got a wolf called
Guys?
What you're laughing at?
I think that's awesome.
He's the thug has just said that he's got money, and he said, "Give me money." So the guy's reaching into his cloak.
Okay.
Grab his wrist before he pulls it out in case there's a knife or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the money.
Okay, give me money.
So
He pulls out a small purse and sort of like jangles it at you.
Take the purse.
Okay.
Think about your life choices. Go on, bugger off.
Trevor
What?
gives the money to Tolerance.
No.
Are you letting him go?
I'm not.
Because you're the one who's got him by the collar.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean nothing to me, they're just village ruffians.
He's-
you know,
He's
so-
useless to us. He's
You know these guys. They are literally
Yeah.
just village ruffians. They're assholes, basically.
I'll take the purse, secrete it on my person.
And I'm going to start walking back towards the tavern.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow. I don't know your name. Sorry. I'm Twirgler. These are my friends.
I'm Balder.
Boulder. Very pleased to meet you. What's the food like in here?
Fishy.
Fish. If you like fish, you are right.
Yeah, pretty much. If
Is
you
it
don't
food?
like fish, you're pretty screwed.
It's
Okay.
going to make a change from Tolerance.
Is it conjured fish?
No, it's real.
Then it should be good.
It'll be better than what we've been eating
Would
for
you
a
like
while.
to
It
know how
probably
much it
does
is in
good.
to us?
And dinner's on
Yeah.
Twirgler from the looks of things.
25 copper pieces.
Okay.
Good God, that's not going to pay for dinner.
So the street like starts coming back to life. People sort of peeking out and like looking at you a little more cautiously now. Okay. Perception checks all round, please.
18.
20.
22.
Varys?
5.
Bad. Okay. You introduced yourself, didn't you?
Yeah.
So Balder, Kaz, and Twergler, you notice lying in the mud at the mouth of the alleyway is a rolled up piece of parchment.
I'm gonna go and pick it up.
Okay.
You do like a big piece of parchment.
You picked it up.
Take off parchment now, bitches. Yeah, so I'm just gonna unroll it, see what it's like. See what it says.
Okay. On this piece of parchment is clearly a wanted poster, and on the parchment are rough but very lifelike sketches of you four and Droop, Gridge, and Carl.
Did
And
you
it says
say
wanted, dead or alive, murder and necromancy.
Murder and necromancy.
Does it say anywhere on it?
First one, then the other, obviously.
Varys,
Who did we...
Varys, what have you been doing?
Well, I've never done any
You-
necromancy, so
You
that
really
one's
have. Where's
baffled
the
me.
look of you? Clearly, yeah.
No, I'm clearly accused of it.
Oh.
That's the difference.
Hey, fame at last! Woohoo!
Please.
Shut up.
Nice.
This is what we get for hanging around with a tiefling.
I don't think it's
I
that tolerance's
suspect
fault either.
this is more to do with what happened at Crackbells than it is to do with me.
I like to blame other people apart from myself. It's a character trait.
I am sort of
Probably ordered.
aware of the conversation, but I'm basically heading back to my seat in front of the fire where my beer was.
Okay, I'm not going to make this a note because I can't be arsed writing all this down.
Yeah.
History.
Mm-hmm.
This is knowledge for Balder only.
No.
Over the past few months,
Mm-hmm.
there has been a huge rise in the level of undead in Faerûn.
As much.
They're everywhere.
Unnatural.
There's undead all over the place. They're plaguing most towns. Nobody knows where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I will have a history check from you at a disadvantage because you're a hermit.
12.
12.
Plus 1, so 13.
That's enough.
Good way of doing disadvantage.
You see the parchment that Kaz has unrolled, and you've seen this poster up outside the sheriff's office in town, and now that you've seen it and these people, you're like, oh yeah.
Who's these ones?
And you believe that these people are wanted in relation to the undead which are going around.
Does the poster say reward?
It doesn't say what the reward is now.
But it says there is a reward.
Oh yeah, it says reward.
This is
By whom?
Kaz.
Who's offering the reward?
Doesn't say. It just literally says wanted for murder and necromancy, reward, and then the pictures.
I will go and resume.
Knowing what you know of the way the world works, if you turn these people, yourselves, into any sheriff or city watch kind of person, they would probably...
No, you can't claim your own reward.
I was going to say,
Yes, I can.
I was going to say, I'm going to
Yes, I
myself
can.
in.
I can claim a reward.
Is everybody walking back into the tavern then?
Yes.
I'll resume my seat at my table. I will go up in front of the fire again, and I'll just contemplate on whether the actions I've seen of these people over the last week or two while I've followed them sort of marries up with.
You clearly saw a lot of spell casting going on and a lot of fighting, but you saw nobody. These didn't seem like the actions of evil, murderous necromancers.
Well, I didn't raise any zombies to fight for me. There's a stone.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, that's what necromancers have a tendency to do.
Haven't done any of that
No,
yet.
never done any of that.
So you're back in the bar. The barman looks at you and just sort of raises an eyebrow.
See?
I don't even have a necromancy spell.
See what?
Maybe I could use one.
We do good things.
I used quite a few of them actually.
I wouldn't say starting a fight counts as a good thing.
Ah, we didn't start it though. We're just wandering about, exploring your lovely town, and we got set upon, and we took care of that. No need to cause trouble.
I don't care. Are you here to buy beer?
Oh, food.
Food?
Yeah.
You can do food.
Great. For us, how much would that be?
For the four of you or for just for the four of you? This is me. The five of you. 2 copper pieces each.
Great. Let's eat. Let's just get some food in us because I'm sick and tired of the same old shit. Yes, we'd love some fish, please. Thank you.
So you take a table and
Really don't want to stick to
Worth
this
that.
table today.
Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I'm ever in your debt.
do you want drinks?
That might be good.
You know what? Yes. Please.
Okay.
And a round of drinks.
The barman pulls 5 flagons of ale and a server rents bottles off to the kitchen, so that'll be 15 copper pieces.
I'll make it 20. For some information. What do you
Go
know
on.
about Skull?
Skog's a scumbag, you don't want to hang around with him. Is he a friend of yours?
Oh no! He started a fight with us outside. We might be able to take care of that problem for you, if you like.
What do you mean take care?
Oh, nothing permanently damaging. We'll just remove him as a problem. We'll let him see the error of his ways and get him to think again about his life choices.
Just ask him very nicely to never, ever bother you.
It doesn't bother me. You know better than to bother me.
Just that you're only one person. How many people has he scared away from your bar? That's preventing you making money.
Persuasion.
Oh dear, which of these was my pen?
17.
You're alright.
I've decided.
We'll take care of this problem and
Yeah.
20 pieces and it's not a bad deal, really.
It's really heavy. When
Fair
it's
enough.
like,
So where can we find this asshole then?
Did you
A
see
two
what
pound
you remember? Yeah, remember David Jones? You see what happened? Dropped it on the
Really, you started a fight literally in the street. I think
I'm
I'm
just
just
getting
getting
off
come up with this.
He lives in a shack on
So
the west side of town.
Mac and mug, no for no juice. So
No,
like,
have this problem.
chips, you know, I'm here. So literally
He sort of gets a bit of the parchment and stretches out.
You're
like,
I think we looked up. What would
just
would
a
that be
sort of
a
rough map of the direction of where to
Yeah.
find it. Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Cool. Thanks.
oh my god.
We're gonna close up, see all the state.
So you take a table and the Busty Bar wench comes out with 5
That's great.
platters of fish and bread. It is pretty much just fish stew.
How
And
busty.
I'm quite happy to have actually managed to get the milk out of my bare hands. Just say it's an achievement.
nice tits,
That's 'cause
charisma
you're a
6.
strong man. You're a strong man.
What?
Um,
It was nice tits.
It is-
6.
nice legs shaped about the face. Yeah, charisma 6. Yeah, she comes out with 5 platters of basically fish stew and freshly baked bread. And to be fair, it's really good. Really, really good. Even if you weren't sick of the conjured food, this would still be really good fish stew.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not just one fish, there's loads of different types of fish and mollusks and
Oh, well, I'm happy. I like that close food.
you're all feeling a lot better.
That sounds
Give
large.
thumbs up.
Can we have it in a cola? Is that bouillabaisse?
Thumbs up, compliments to the chef, all that jazz.
Uh-huh.
As I'm paying the guy, I want to see where he puts the money.
Oh god.
He puts it in, he's got like a pouch thing.
In it. Oh god.
Fucking love it. Excellent.
I don't mind if you ask something like that.
Have you decided
Does
yet?
everybody else want?
Yeah, get another coffee please, actually.
How do you take it?
Reasonably strong, not massively strong, and milk, no sugar. I was going to say your mug's still there, but there it is.
Don't like, yeah, you take it like normal, but you don't really.
I drink coffee the way coffee's supposed to be drinking.
Not like me.
Drinking?
I'm not
I drink coffee the way it's supposed to be drinking.
Not like me. It's basically so strong you have to have sugar to make it.
Not,
drinkable.
no, not as strong as you have it, please. I've just had 2 cups, so not that strong.
You never save again.
Yeah, it's probably I think that's one of the reasons why I do have sleep problems.
Yes,
This is
quite
why possibly
possibly.
I don't drink coffee past 6 o'clock.
It's probably just as well, though.
Yeah. Unless it's on a weekend where I want to stay up till like 4
So-
in the
I
morning.
want to ask the barman his
I do
name.
need these sort of.
See, this is why I write stuff down.
down.
His name is Alan.
Alan.
A very fine, mythical, legendary Dungeons and Dragons kind of name. Alan.
Alan.
I used
Alan.
to my
With
nose
it-
on
with two
Oh, yeah.
me and
Yeah,
nose
yeah.
off me.
Hey, human, it's a human name, so I'm not going to hold that against him.
So there's been occasions when Alan has given you beer and food for free because of who you are. So you're all sat around
See,
eating
I'm a
your
nice guy. This
your
time.
seafood and fish stew.
We'll see.
The beer is also pretty good. It's not the best beer you've ever had, but it's not bad.
But after weeks of not having beer,
Yeah.
Biscuits.
And you're just sort of making small talk with this dwarf. He knows the area. He gives you a rough idea of where you are in the world. Yeah.
So between him and Alan, are you like what passes for the watch around here?
The watch.
God, no.
You know, like militia, but not as heavily armed.
There is one.
The
This
look on
town.
your face.
This town has one sheriff who's just like a fat bumbling guy who gets his authority from Neverwinter. Neverwinter don't really interfere. Shit, dude. He's not very good at his job.
It's probably just as well.
It's not a particularly crime-ridden town, but crime does go on. Very little of it gets solved by this guy, but the town tends to police itself pretty much. If anybody does anything too bad, they tend to get kicked over the side of a boat.
Okay. So these are all sat at their own table and I'm parked up by the fire. Oh,
No, you're with these guys. He bought you stew and beer.
wow. Very kind of you.
Oh, don't thank me yet.
Indeed.
Okay, that's good information. Right, let's go take care of Skog. Who's in?
Yeah.
No. Well, that's
Might as
what
well.
trees do.
You said when we ended the sign looked damaged.
Yes.
Can I cast a mend on it when they're past?
Absolutely, you can.
That's
Yeah, it is now restored to a wooden and copper reinforced studded sign of a large ale mug. And it looks much nicer. And the barman fails to notice.
I wasn't doing it for the press. I was doing it because it was a nice act.
Yes, absolutely. No, I'm getting where tolerance is coming from these days.
I like
You're
to.
trying to, and you're.
Okay, so you head off in the direction of the west side of town.
What time of day is it?
It is just past lunchtime now.
Okay.
I'm not with them. They can ask for my help and so...
So you're just staying in the bar.
You did say who's with him. You could have come if you wanted.
Well, you're still strangers who have a wanted poster, so, you know.
Come with us. No time to explain. Just come.
Get to the chopper.
So you staying in the bar?
No.
Okay. The map that Alan drew you is crude, but give me an intelligence check with advantage.
14 intelligence.
That's enough.
Yeah, okay.
You find your way across the other side of town. You find yourself in like an even more rundown area of town, and there is one building which can only be described as a shack.
Okay. I want to. Is there anyone around?
Yeah, there's some people around. There's people coming and going. People. There's an old woman sort of washing some grubby clothes in some grubby water.
there. Can I help you with that?
You saying I can't wash clothes?
No, not at all. But watch. And whatever she's got dirty in her hands at the moment, prestidigitation, make it clean.
Oh! Are you a wizard?
No.
Always say yes.
Yes, I was just handy.
Oh, you are handy. And she runs back into her house and comes out with a big armful of filthy clothing and bed clothes. Please, sir.
Alright, let's do this inside. Where, it's a bit out of the way because, we can do this inside, can't we? Maybe have a cup of tea?
All right.
Brilliant.
Perception check.
14.
This chick thinks she's pulled.
Okay.
You just asked her in for a cup of tea. And she's like, ooh,
So what can you tell us about,
maybe something else will get dirty.
Oh my god.
she's a human,
She is a human.
about 5'8".
Yeah, got that
I'm
down.
3'3". I'm Vern Troyer with a whip.
Standing tall
Not always necessarily a bad thing.
So,
Just saying.
How's your kid?
really Burgundies, so I'm just doing the cantrip, making everything clean, giving her to fold. And I want to ask you questions about Skogs. What do you know about Skog?
Dog's a bad one.
He's a bad one, is he? What's he do? What
He's a thief. He nicks stuff.
Ooh, that sounds like a really bad man.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, do you know if he's in?
Oh yeah, he came back a little while ago. He looked like he'd been chased by the devil.
Funny you should say that.
Oh,
Does he
definitely that.
often go out at night?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
he always goes out night. He goes out nicking. He's a bad one.
So, what if he disappeared?
Are you gonna make him invisible?
Cleaning well, out of sight, certainly.
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know how you wizards work.
I'm not really a wizard, but,
You are a wizard. Look what you're doing.
well...
I bet you're a wizard with sheets.
Is he a wizard in the sheets though?
Oh God, possibly. We'll see about that. However, we might have a little surprise for young Skog. So, how about you do me a favour? I'm taking care of all your laundry here. How about you do me a favour?
Oh, I'll do you any favour you like.
I'm gonna be with my
Forced
friends
to
in
talk
the
about.
tavern, and
Yes.
when you hear of Skog going out, would you let us know?
Sweet.
I'll come to see you in the tavern, yeah, that'd be
It's
nice.
worth a beer.
Come here, little
Ooh, you'd invite me a drink. The chick's about 60.
It's alright.
chap.
I'm older than she is.
Good, fair point, yeah.
Good point.
Oh, did I tell you age?
No.
I'm an oldish guy, about sort of mid-40s on the human scale. I don't know what dwarven age is, but equivalent. I'm not a young man.
I love the fact you call sort of old 40 years.
A little bit of grey in your beard.
People like me and Kieran. Who just sit there and look at you.
Okay,
Well, I usually pair people in like.
so
20s.
so you're nice and young and virile.
Cheers, mate.
I
Yeah.
am going grey at the temples actually, I've noticed that the other day.
I'm
Been
32,
great
I've
since I
got
was
He's got
21.
he's got a very
Yes.
special
I used to
It's
work.
bizarre.
I used to work with a guy who literally, I don't know what it's called. That where you get like a pattern like of whiteness in your hair. He had
Yeah.
very dark hair, but he had literally without the dot, he had a question mark shape on the back of his head.
Oh, cool.
We used to call him the Riddler. Now he's a twat.
No, it's cool.
It looks cool, but he was a twat, and he hated us calling him Riddler. It's funny. Anyway,
One of the women I used to work with, she wear
Guys.
completely white.
Let's go
Remember
to the bar.
17?
I've got someone who's going to tell us when
Just
Skog is out. We're going to be
My
a...
dad's like, oh,
We're
why?
going to be a
It's like,
surprise.
great as long as I've known, so hopefully I think I've
Okay.
taken up to his side of the family and not been involved like the mother's
so you
side.
go back to the bar. Everybody going back with Tuogla to the bar.
Yes.
Being bold is a sign of virility.
Oh, see, I wrote that and then
Don't
you just
be
said
bold.
that. So
Like,
it's like.
On the upside
You
down.
haven't got my side.
The upside down. My
You heard
grades
everything.
actually started to like even out now, so it's kind of
Yeah, the
symmetrical.
matches and it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So you're back at the bar.
Symmetrical nice.
Right, Alan, we're just going to warm ourselves by the fire a bit, if you don't mind.
All right, Tuogla.
Nice, man.
And, I think we could run a tab with you.
Is that what you wonder, is it?
That's a question.
That would be a no.
Right, because I might be looking to acquire some things that might come your way to help pay that tab off.
Am I hearing this?
Perception check.
You're fine.
Nah, you're stood by the fire warming yourself.
You're attempting
Alan just sort of looks at you and
get
sort of-
embarrassed, just looking at you. You're mental.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dissembling.
Wink, 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 wink. He's like making a big display of like,
He doesn't do
it's so obvious that he totally, it's just like, everybody's like,
I don't know this gnome. Yeah.
I like
I have no interest in what you're talking about.
Respected.
So, we think that tab
No.
and see what comes out of Skog's house your way, 'cause I'm sure there's a few things maybe or patronage that
Yeah,
I've
but
gone missing
like,
recently.
Persuasion check. I'll give you advantage because you got a 1.
Fucking 6.
I need to be in Neverwinter.
Yeah.
I need contact as well. I can't go to Neverwinter. And if I go to Neverwinter,
He
I'll
says,
just send this check.
you convince me, and then we'll see about that.
Oh, do
Show me what you can do for me, and then we'll talk more.
we already have an agreement about what's going to happen to young Skog, so
All I've heard so far is talk.
so let the proof of the pudding be in the doing,
I can communicate
or
with
something.
members of my
Yeah, we'll make him disappear
church in Neverwinter using sending
in a
back.
couple of days. And I'll go and wait for what's her weekly place.
Okay,
Will there be anything?
Alice.
standing?
Okay, so you're all sat in the bar.
No, sorry, there's a route of water.
Alan doesn't seem particularly bothered to have you here now. He doesn't seem to be pressing you to buy food and drink.
Didn't password it.
Time passes.
Great.
Find someone to dispel all the spells. And that's starting to draw.
I'm happy
a
to
bit
wait
too
for
much attention.
Alice coming in.
No, but same as-
Okay, does anybody want to do anything, or are you just going to let time pass?
It's not really anything to do, really. Is
Not particularly.
I'm going to roll a piece in my knuckles just because I can.
Okay. Time passes, patrons come and go. Alan sort of cleans the table that you're all sat at, which doesn't have any drinks or food on it, quite pointedly every now and again. Like cleaning it because there's nothing to clean. But he doesn't throw you out. People come and go, merchants come in and go. At one point, one of the thugs he beat up sort of comes in and then scurries off as soon as he sees you. It gets to about 8 in the evening. Night has fallen. The various lanterns around the tavern are lit by the not so comely bar wench. And then just after 8, Alice comes in. She's wearing her best dress, which is more like a sack, and she's put on lots of makeup, and she kind of looks like Heath Ledger in Batman. She comes sauntering over. Hello, Twitter.
Alan, a beer for this comely young wench. And I'll leave the 5 copper pieces on the table. Right. I take it Skog is not at home?
No, he's not. And nor is my husband.
We have a little bit of business to take care of.
Oh, yes, we do.
I'll be back.
Oh. She looks a little crestfallen.
I did say I'll be back.
Okay. And
Okay.
Pat the
Following
back of this
Twyla.
woman's hand in a comforting fashion.
I'll pat her knee as I pass.
yeah, you can't quite reach your hand. Okay.
Okay, guys. Skog is going to be taken care of. You coming?
Yep.
Right.
What we do?
I'm in.
I hope by that you don't mean hurt.
Did I say hurt?
Just
I was
making
gonna say-
sure.
Nobody said anything about hurting him. Did we?
What exactly are you intending on doing?
Oh, he's going to disappear. He's a bad influence in
He's
this
going to
town.
leave town and never
Oh,
come
don't
back.
worry. Don't
We
worry,
can make that
Council.
suggestion to him.
No, she should stay. Don't you worry about that.
Perception checks from the whole party, please. And by party, I mean the party.
23.
5.
14.
14.
Okay. Varys and Twergler, you notice that we don't notice. You just sort of, as when you got back to the bar, the dwarf boulder wasn't there. Kaz, you noticed that sometime after you get back to the bar, a house cat wanders into the bar. Nobody seems to bat an eyelid, and the cat just lies down next to the fire with the wolf. So you're heading off to see.
Cute kitty. Okay. I'm going to head off to see Skog.
Mhm.
As soon as I leave the bar, stealth mode activated.
Okay. Is anybody else going with him?
I'll go with him.
Yes.
Yep. I'm not particularly stealthy, but I'm just walking.
Stealth check.
Yeah, I'm going to do stealth as well.
Okay.
Lots. 19.
I will have a
Plus
perception check
bits.
from the rest of the party.
I'm going to do a stealth check as well. I'm trying to be stealthy.
I'll come to you in a second.
Yeah.
So do your perception checks first.
21.
21.
5.
19.
19. You two are very aware of where Twergler is,
Mm-hmm.
but you're sort of like, okay, I'm not going to draw any attention to him. He's obviously
Yeah.
being stealthy. And then your stealth check, please.
Oh, that's a 13.
13. Okay. Perception checks from the rest of the party, including Twergler.
Stealth check from me.
Just a moment.
14.
14. 8. Varys.
19.
19. Varys and Twergler, you notice that, again, Kaz is also being stealthy, and you don't.
No attention will be drawn to it.
You know they're there.
That's a good. Does
And
message
yours?
have like a because it's a whisper that was making fear.
14. Okay.
Does it have to come?
Rest of the party, perception check, please. And I will say minus 5 modifier for the rest of the party making their perception checks, please.
Oh, I rolled a 4 then.
11.
3.
11.
4, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 4.
So you guys are heading off to the.
Skog's shack.
The Skog's shack.
Mhm.
Or, the Skog's not home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody clearly has a plan.
I know, I just wish he'd tell me his plan. Right.
You're going to like it.
So you just reminded, I watched it again the other day, and you reminded me of her dad. I worry about you. I worry very much. Creepy fucker.
What's that?
It. Stephen King's It.
It's possibly one of the scariest films of all time.
You've not seen it?
It's getting remade as well.
Yeah, I know it's getting remade, and I'm quite happy about that because I quite like.
It's a fucking awesome film. But it's
I
it's a
like the
TV
film.
movie now.
Yeah,
It's a TV
but
movie.
I'm a massive fan of the book. So the film, the only really good thing about the film for me was Tim Curry.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Tim Curry
as
was
Pennywise.
amazing, and the bit with the blood coming out of the
Yes.
book is amazing.
Anyway, so yeah, you head off to
So,
Skog Shack. It's you get the impression that because it's a fishing village, it's kind of everybody turns in quite early. The streets are pretty deserted.
Horrible film.
Great.
Awesome. It's one of my favourite films.
First thing you have to do is
It's
check the
terrible
door.
when I was a kid.
Subtly.
It's the one that I would still like. Need
Perception checks all round, please.
14.
14.
15.
18.
You two, as you reach the sort of, you can barely call it a street on which Skog lives, you notice in the shadows, about 60 feet away from Skog's hut, lurking stealthily, is Skog.
But I don't notice this. Great.
I'm going to point this out to Twergler.
Okay, I'm going to have another stealth check from you.
It's a 17.
17.
Yeah.
So are you just whispering?
Yeah, it's basically it.
You seem to do that pretty damn stealthily. So he draws your attention
Well, I
and
didn't say whispering, more like doing a whole weird, like gesturing randomly. He sees and goes, "Yes, I know what you're about that. It does don't make any sense."
perception check from you at the advantage.
18.
Good enough. Yep. You can see Skog.
What's he doing?
He is lurking stealthily and doesn't appear to have noticed you.
This couldn't be
He's
worse.
watching Varys and Tolerance. What are you two doing?
Seeing as we're not meant to be
Oh,
drawing
God,
attention
you
to
didn't do what I was
anybody,
gonna do.
I think we should just continue to walk along as if
Because that was-
Lawrence and
that
I
was
was
just-
just going out for an evening stroll.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So you're just strong.
Yeah. You know, his ideas.
Okay.
We're
We're going
going
to
to
need.
be
Awesome.
part of each other's company.
Just
That made it go a bit.
I'm just going to close the back door.
But we are no two who adventure together, therefore going for a stroll. Talking isn't out.
And then just, you know, the bag of holding. That whole skinny
Yeah.
top, but doing it like skin, like making
The fish we got, that fish shows
This is
really.
basically just accidentally blackmailing it to keep it up there, like skimming off the top.
Well,
At the end of realised, no, I won't be doing that.
Aaron, have you got have you got the tiefling mini?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I need to sort that out.
It's
Okay.
a very useful stand about
Do you want that?
situation.
Yeah, because we're going to need.
Certainly not to be relied.
Looking at this situation, we're going to need a mini for everybody here.
It
We'll
was
get
only
some more.
marginally better than
Again?
starving to death.
I might just get
if I'm
some
completely
new
honest.
phone for this because I know
I hesitate to say such things.
Yes, you can buy phones, haven't you?
Yeah. Which one do you want?
It wasn't your fault.
Whatever. Okay, I'm going to
Absolutely
say,
agree. And
rather than draw things out again,
bit out.
this is the street.
Not gonna lie.
This is Skog's shack. Skog is lurking in the shadows here. Twirgler,
Skog looks like a ninja turtle.
Boulder,
You don't see Ninja Turtle. There's actually a guy that
I was
did
picturing
Ninja Turtle
myself on
minis.
rooftops.
Varys.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
No, I mean, seriously, guys.
He does them, but
I'm not placing these.
If you've ever seen
Okay,
pictures
that
of
is
it,
where
tell me,
Skog
because
is.
that's up.
This is the street. Place yourselves. That's the street.
We just
These are
want to get
rooftops.
it, So I suppose we're in a good place.
Which one's me?
Assuming this is us.
Which mini is me?
Pick one. I was going to use Hesper because I thought Hesper looked more like Varys than any mini we've used before.
I think that's very fair, it probably does.
It's not an if. It's not
Unfortunately,
really
the
can't do
Varys doesn't have
faces.
staff anymore.
No, I can't do faces.
Don't keep doing awful things, Jimmy.
Oh, did you see the?
Looks a bit
Oh, dude, please tell me this wasn't glued.
And
Aaron, tell me this wasn't glued.
Yeah, it's good.
Seriously?
No.
You are such a wind
Oh, that's coming up nicely.
Yeah, it's. I've only done the day, so nothing else. It's nice. It's nice.
That's a nice mini.
Yeah.
How close are we to
Is this a
chili
Reaper?
time?
Oh,
Yep.
whenever you want it.
I like that fucking headdress thing. That's
Thank
very
you.
cool.
When you
Well, I'm going to say now then. Please.
Yeah, shall we? Okay,
Because I
so
can chili and play.
let's eat.
It just happens. So it's just
But
totally
it's
off.
like 10 to 2, so
I'm going to get through
Got the old ones.
pause the video. In fact, I'm going to take the opportunity to
download.
pull the footage off that we've just shot.
Oh, well.
No breakfast.